Okay, so when you speak of class methods, actually, I was discussing about the class methods actually. So here, if I have something like a class of student, okay, I have a class of student with some kind of a data. This is called as class attributes. Okay, so if I want to define a student, I can define with n number of things. Let me say take four parameters: name, registration number, age, and branch, and some activity, what activity is doing. So he may be reading, sportsmanship, or some kind of a lab, whatever. I'm taking from one or two. So these are called as class methods. I want, so if I want to define any of this activity with respect to that particular student, so I should able to define with a function. So here I should able to define a functions. So what we will do, we will try to have an example. So class student is my class. So under this, I'll be having n number of students, n number of students. Okay. Now, when I use this definition df, that is a constructor, very similar to what we use in C++ or Java. It is called as constructor. Now, when I have this init, okay, init is nothing but I am going to initialize. So the task of this constructor is to initialize some values assigned to it. So these values are called as parameters. Okay. Now I want to assign it to a particular thing. So if I define it as self, or if I define self comma name, comma age, comma USN number, comma branch, those are called as parameters which I am assigning. And this method is very useful to do any initialization. Okay, any kind of initialization what we do with respect to any kind of an object what you are going to define. Okay, so that is the best use of this init actually. Say this particular thing self. So I have, if I have, I can have a parameter name. Okay, if I want, I can have USN. I then comma age. So any number of parameters I can have. Now once I define it actually, now I can, so in the init method of C, this is this particular thing constructor. What is the advantage of this particular thing actually? The advantage is once I define it actually, so I can instance that particular. So this is nothing but instance variables. See, these are called as instance variables or parameters. Instance variables or parameters. So this parameter I'm giving it to this constructor and initializing. Okay. Now if I want to define it actually, I want to define a particular name. So simply I will go and tell self dot name is equal to name. Okay. Self dot USN is equal to USN. Self dot age is equal to age. Okay. All what are these are actually, all these are in variables what I am trying to define. So these are instance variables I am trying to define. Now I want to use this actually. Okay. I want to tell that this particular name has got so much of percentage of 20 years. Okay, a person with USN number is of 20 years. So if I want to do that, I can use one more instance method. What I'm going to use, I'm going to use class method. Say reading, sports. So reading means here studying will come. So what is this? So I can its reading or its ability to study. I can evaluate with the percentage of marks he may be getting. Okay, if I want to look at that particular activity, so maybe by age, so I can go and tell that this particular person has so much of percentage. So age, so comma percentage. Okay, so then self dot percentage is equal to percentage. So these are some variables which I have created, instance variables. Now I want to check this particular using any one of the class method. Okay, what I want to do actually, I'm going to create one more function. Okay, function, let it be anything. So it let be some kind of an thing which I want to display or something like that, show or display, which I can use it actually. Okay, so Here, usually in instance method, whenever we try to use show one more function, that is this definition. Maybe let me use that function, show dot self. So what it's going to take actually, all these instance variables I can use here. Okay. Now this becomes an instance method for me. This becomes a instance method or class method. Okay. Now I want to show something. I want to print. So print something like this. Print. Okay. So name is, what is the name of the student? Okay. I can call it actually. It is self dot name. I did not use everything. I can use only name and as got. So age I can put, his register number is so much, all those things. I'm going to use only two things as got. So dash percentage, that is, so he has got, okay, self dot percentage of marks in particular course. Maybe let me call it as some kind of a course, maybe English course, something in English course. Okay, I will close it. Now what will happen actually, now I want to call this from one of the class. I want to call it from the main program, that is, we call that as object of the class. So what is it actually? I need to define it. It may be some, okay, I want to show that actually an object in the class. So that is, so let me call it as some stud or whatever it may be, student. So stud, okay, some it can be A, B, C, anything, whatever it may be. Just I'm just a student, I'm calling it as. So I have to define this class, student class. Okay, here I'm going to give the name. So everything, all the data I'm going to give. So let it be Aravind is the data. Then is register number is some number 1BM18 dot. So don't worry, the star I'm not giving any number. So this number will come. Okay. Then age, okay, 24, some 80% of the marks. Okay. So this data I am trying to do. Now I want to show this, use this, call this function and use this. Okay. What is this actually? This is the object of the class. This is the object of the class. I am trying to, so what should be the name here? So what should the output? The moment I run this code, the output will be, so I have to get the name is, okay, only one particular thing. So name is Aravind, okay, and as got, okay, and as got 80, so 80, that is 80, so it has got 80, so I have to do, so 80% of marks. So let me use this. So 80%, 80% of marks. So what is the thing I'm trying to take here? I'm going to use only name and percentage. If you want, you can put other data also, you can put it. I can put, so name is Arvind with a register number of USN, self.usn, of age maybe 20 years, so 24 years, has got 80% in this particular English course. So that will be the output. Okay, this is an example for instance variables and instance method using the init function. Init function is one special function which is exclusively used, actually, and this is called as a constructors. Even in C++ and Java, any kind of object-oriented programming we use actually. So these are called as constructors. And constructor is a special type of method which is used to initialize any object of a class. That's it. So same rule what is applied in C++ and this thing, the same rule applied here also. Okay. One particular thing, what is the plus point in Python is actually the constructor will be executed automatically when the object is created. Okay, when simply I write init, so the moment I create this object, this will get automatically gets executed. Okay, suppose if you create three objects or two objects or four objects, every time the constructor is called, all the three times, all the two times to initialize each object. If I try to create, say, once I use this initialize this constructor, and if I try to create three objects, so the constructor will try to call, that means it's called three times, and each time the object is initialized. So that's an advantage of init function, or we call it as init constructors or init method. Okay, so this is followed by two underscores. Between two underscores, I am going to put init within the braces. Is that clear? I think we have used this in the previous class. Today I am trying to go in deep and try to make you understand what is this actually. So some of the books actually they try to tell that what is the purpose of doing this actually. See, the main purpose of using this constructor is to some books they call it as declaring a variable. Okay, declaring a variable. So that somewhere I have read actually, it is not only initializing, I'm going to declare that variables. So declare so many instances of variables. So here I have three instances or four instances of variables. Every time I'm going to declare it. Okay, so now I'm trying to take how many arguments. See, look at this particular thing. So how many arguments or variables I'm taking in this particular thing? I have self, I have name, I have USN, I have age, and I have percentage. But it can take at least, so whenever I have this init class method or init constructor init method, so this constructor will have at least one argument or one variable should be there. Okay, and that is this self one. That means if I want to write that, the meaning of that particular thing is I should have underscore init underscore self. Okay, init and so underscore init underscore within the bracket self. So the name of the constructor should be, that means this is the name of the constructor what we are using in our Python. This is the name of the constructors. So this is an advantage of this constructor. Now, as I told, constructor can be, see, what type of this particular thing? This is called as non-parameterized. Okay, what is this such a non-parameterized means? I am not defining any other variable. See here, so the two options are there. See, init underscore self, maybe n number of variables. Okay, maybe I can have, so if I have a computer, so I can define its processor speed or something like processor, its RAM, okay, its capacity, so whatever it may be. So like that I can have these other parameters, name, age, so whatever it may be. So now if you look at it, this is one type of defining the init constructor, and this is the other method of defining the constructor. What is the first one? First one we call it as non-parameterized. Non-parameterized constructor. Why it is non-parameterized actually? So here I am not passing any parameter except this self. Okay, so non-parameterized maybe constructor uses only self. We do not want to say we are not supplying any variable, any value to it. Okay, but when I have this kind of a thing actually, when I have init, that is init self dot name, other this is called, the second one is called as parameterized. Okay, where I am trying to the constructor with parameters. This is constructor without parameters or values or variables. other than self. So here the constructor with parameters. The constructor with parameters. So that's how you can define a non-parameterized and a parameterized init functions or init class methods. We can define it. Is that clear? So any doubts?
No, sir. Clear, sir.
Okay, so it's clear. Okay, this is one particular init class methods. So we use it especially in case of in Python actually. Now, the next thing what we are going to discuss is the what is called as the inheritance. Okay, inheritance. Inheritance in Python. I want to use inheritance in Python. Can you tell me what is this inheritance? Okay, so most of us when we try to speak actually we inherit certain qualities from person A or person B, we tell it. So in Python also it gives the same meaning. So inheritance is a case of creating some new class from the existing class. Okay, so inheritance means it is the way or method. It is a method of creating a new class from the existing class. From the existing class without doing any modification to the already created class. So without any modifications, without any modifications to it. And this is called as inheritance. Okay. Now I'm going to create a new class. See, I'm going to create a new class from the existing class. Okay. Hope you might have remembered that in physical units also we have something called as main physical units and derived units. Okay. The same way the newly formed class. Okay. The newly formed class. The newly formed class is called as derived class. Is called as derived class. Okay, it is called as derived class. Okay, and some books actually I have seen that they call this as child class also, because the main class is here the existing one. See, the existing one class they call it as the parent class. Okay, and the new or derived class. Okay, they call this as child class. Okay, so the existing class, it's a base class. I think some books they call this as the base class also. Maybe we have, these are all different words. A base class, parent class, or existing class, or what are may this thing, and all the new class or derived class or child class. Whatever the way you can define it actually. Okay, so this is the meaning of inheritance. Okay, now why we use this actually? What is the advantage of having this inheritance? Can anyone tell me what you mean? Why this inheritance is required?
So to avoid repeating the same code for different
Yes,
functions.
super, fine. That's good actually. Say for example, already I have defined that particular function. Okay, I'm going to create a class. So that are already built in. So I want to reuse the same thing again and again. Okay, when I want to reuse, so this is something, right, enhancing your reusability of the code. So we do not have to write the same code repeatedly. So reusability of the code, to enhance it, actually we try to do it. So syntax is something like this. So the syntax for inheritance is something like this. So class, base class or parent class, let me write parent class name. Okay, so I'll use a different this thing, parent class. Okay, this thing, and I need to have the body of the parent class. So body of the parent class. Then I'm going to define, see, I'm going to call this, look at this, I'm going to call class. Okay, then it is a derived class. It is the derived class. Derived class. So here you have to very careful here. So I have to put the parent class within the bracket. Okay, you have to be very careful here. Parent class, then body of the derived class. So this will be a simple generalized syntax for your this thing. Okay, so now how this particular base class inheritance is advantage. Okay, so now let's try to look at one of the example. Okay, say so I have some kind of a bird. Okay, so I have a bird, and so what the bird can do. Okay, so let me take some kind of a bird itself is, let me take the penguin. Okay, fine. So morning I was watching some National Geography. Let me take penguin itself. Okay, what it can do, it can swim, it can run, all those things. Let me take that actually. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a class. So this is the inheritance class. So let me write it. So this is my parent class. Okay, so the parent class is actually, this is the bird. Okay, now I will have the instance classes. Okay, that is, I'm going to use definition, I'm going to use init, and I'm not defining anything, I'm going to use only self. Okay, now so let me print. So bird is defined, something I want to get a print out. So bird is defined or something. Okay, now what this bird can do. Okay, bird can do, can it swim, can it run? So that's what we'll try to run. So I will try to check for it actually. Okay, I'm going to check for it. So whether it's this bird can run, or this bird can swim, or this bird can run. So this is the two things I'll try to check it. So now who is this actually? So that is one particular thing, instances. Now I'm going to create one more inheritance, one more derived class. So one more derived class. So that is actually, which is, I'm going to call it as a penguin. Okay, now this particular thing is there. So let me define what it can do. So definition. So let me call it as some swim. So it is it can swim actually. So it can swim. It can swim. Okay. Now I'm going to create a child class. Okay. I will going to create a child class. I can have n number of childs. So I can have n number of childs. I'm going to have penguin. Okay. Child class. So let me have penguin. Okay. When I'm defining the penguin, so the penguin belongs to which class actually? The penguin belongs to your bird class. Okay, which already, so the penguin already belongs to the bird class. Okay, just put the colon at the end. Now I have to define one more. Okay, so one more thing, what I'm going to define, I'm going to define this here actually. One more this thing. I'm going to have a one more class method or instance this thing for the child class. That is definition underscore init. This constructor is for the main class. Look at this. See, this init is for the main class. Okay, this constructor is for the child class. That you have to remember. Now, so whatever I want, I can do this. Okay. Now, whenever I call this particular thing, I will tell that the bird is ready. Okay. Now, so here I can have a print statement. So here I can have the print statement such that the penguin is defined or something like that. So the penguin is defined. Now, so this particular thing, see, who is this actually? I want to call this function somewhere else, or maybe if I want, I can here also I can have one more option. Here I can have run self. I can have one more class method and get that it can run faster or it can run. That's it. Okay, it can run or something. I can define it. So I have two classes here. So this is the body for the child class. This is the body for the main class. This is your main class. This is your subclass, or what we call it as child class. So I have defined everything. Now I have to call it from outside. So if I want to call it, so let me give some name actually. So maybe some an, okay, is equal to penguin. Okay. So the moment I call this, so what I'm trying to do actually, okay, the moment I call this, so I can tell and, okay, and dot, okay, swim and dot run. Okay, see, these are some of the executable. See, this case is nothing but I'm trying to create some kind of objects here, and I'm trying to see, I'm going to call penguin here. See what it is going. This will go here and see this particular thing. I'm going to call this particular thing. What are things gets executed? Okay, now when I try to execute this actually, what are the statements it has to print actually? It has to print, see, when I try to call the swim, run and all, I should be able to get all the statements printed. So it is the bird is defined will get printed. Okay, then the penguin is defined will get printed. Okay, then so then it's going to, it can swim. So when I execute this swim, it get printed here, it can swim. So when the run is executed, I'm getting it can run. So we have created, see what is it actually in this particular thing. I have created two classes. One is the bird class, parent class, and a child class, which is I'm calling it as penguin. You can have crow, or you can have any kind of, maybe if you want you can have the any kind of an animal. So what it is behaving, all those things we can do. What it is actually, the child class is inherits the functions of the parent class. So what is the parent class this thing? What is the inheritance? I'm using this swim. So the swim method I'm trying to use. So now the child class has modified this particular behavior of the, so when I try to use this child class, okay, it has modified the behavior of the parent class. That is, it has gone and it has executed the parent class. Okay, so what is it actually? It has modified that and it has, I'm able to get an output. So any kind of functions, okay, any case, so the functions of the parent class is created with the whatever the functions created in the parent class, whatever the functions created in the child class can be executed simultaneously. Okay, so this way of using your maybe one class within the other, we call this as inheritance. Is it clear? You can just, I gave an example. You can have maybe n number of statements you can have, and trying to link your child class, or what we call it as derived class, with your parent class is called as inheritance.